we had our first session last night, our first episode, and that was very exciting to talk about abundant mindset and a little bit about what it means to us and how we can define it and how it works. And we are going to continue to look at this. We want to continue to look at how defining mindset and how it impacts our lives, and how fixed and growth mindsets. But this is a starting point for looking at mindset and abundant mindset. And we've already started to introduce the concept of abundant mindset, but we want to go further with that. I said a lot about mindset last time and looking at the limitations in relation to limitations and scarcity. And today we're going to focus on more on what it means and the core principles and characteristics, and particularly what it means to Zaffar, because he is very passionate about abundance, and he has been studying it, and he's going to make a lot of difference in the world through abundance, by spreading about abundance and sharing what he's learned and what he knows about abundance. He's going to be able to make a huge difference in the world. And when we take on board this concept of abundance, then we can become part of that abundance and spread it and help other people and help bring people from when we're stuck on our limitations and poor thinking and scarcity. We can change to our approach to thinking in terms of abundance and seeing that there's more past that the limitations often are very artificial. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to Zaffar to explain to us about what abundance mindset really is, and what that can really do for us.
Thank you so much, Robin Hughes. I mean, my friend, giving me time and asking me to come to your show and explaining what I think of abundance and what is abundant mindset. I really appreciate the concept that you and me are writing a book for abundant mindset from your perspective and mine. And again, I'll be just moonshotting abundance. The concept as I have learned. I mean, this is Peter H. Diamandis. He's my teacher in this context. And abundance is not about creating a world of luxury. It's about creating a world of possibilities. In abundance, my teacher, Peter H. Diamandis, the founder of Prize and Singularity University, presents a compelling data backed by the visionary narrative that the humanity is headed towards an era of unprecedented abundance, despite widespread pessimism. And co-authoring with Stephen Kotler, I mean, his co-author, this is Peter's co-author. The book dismantles the scarcity mindset and showcases how exponential technologies, passionate innovators, and rising billions are transforming the world. The core idea from abundance, the power of exponential technologies, innovations in artificial intelligence, robotics, biotechnology, nanotech, and the digital manufacturing are accelerating problem solving. These tools empower small teams do what once required by the governments, solving issues of the water, food, energy, education, and healthcare. And then about the rising billions with mobile connectivity and internet access expanding globally, billions of the people disconnected from the global economy are now empowered to learn, invent, and contribute. This inclusion creates new markets, fresh ideas, massive collaborative energy. Now coming to the 6 Ds of exponential growth. Number 1 is digitization. 2, deception. 3, disruption. 4, demonetization. 5, dematerialization, and the last one and the sixth one is democratization. The six phases explain These six phases explain how exponential technologies evolve and scale, often quality at first, then explosively reshaping the industries and access. Abundance thinking versus scarcity thinking. As Robin Hughes he himself was telling about, the scarcity mindset is the fixed mindset. Scarcity is often failure of access, not of resources. Abundance thinkers reframe challenges as opportunities, and optimism, innovation, and networks to scale solutions. DIY innovators and philanthropists and entrepreneurs, engineers, and bold thinkers supported by the impact focused capital now leading the way in solving grand challenges once left to state and NGOs. The book features examples like Dean Cameron, Elon Musk, and Craig Venter. The abundance mindset is, he teaches that the abundance begins with not with resources but with mindset. The belief that we can and must solve humanity's greater problems is the first step towards actually doing so. The future, he argues, is not defined by what we lack but what we can create together. And I'll just give the floor to Robin to take this thinking forward. Over to you, Robin.
So I found it interesting. You mentioned about how it's not about luxury, right? So it's not about how much stuff you have. I guess it's more about what you do with what you have, right? So sometimes we might have limitations, we might have scarce resources, but what do we do with that? It's about our perception, right? It's about how we think about what we have. So we can be poor, very, very poor, but we can have abundance in our mind. The way that we think about what we have, the way we think about our relationships, the way we think about every abundance perspective. Whereas if somebody can be very rich and have an abundance of resources, but their thinking can be very, very small, and they can think that they are locked in scarcity, that they don't have enough. Okay, and so this is actually where people are afraid of the future, because they can see that abundance in some ways, abundance in physical resources and things, they worried that will create limitations in terms of their experience, right? So they worried about robots and AI taking the jobs, and they're focused on what they're going to lose. Okay, and when they're focused on what they're going to lose, they're thinking in terms of scarcity rather than thinking about abundance. Instead of thinking about the opportunities, what can we do with that? Even if we have a problem, if we have a limitation, when we think with abundance mindset, we can think, what can we do with it? What are the opportunities here, right? If we lived in a world where there was no need to work anymore, what could we do with that? Rather than seeing it and saying, so if we believe this is a problem, if we believe we're going to be in this situation of scarcity, what can we do with it? What abundance can we create with that? If we, instead of seeing, we don't need to work as a negative thing, we can see the fact that if we don't need to work, then that's a positive thing. That means that the things that we can create are beyond what is needed. So it's a matter of perspective, right? Every time we look at a problem, we look at scarcity, we can approach it with abundance. And as I was talking about last time, on the other hand, when we're dealing with abundance, sometimes it's too much for us. We need a framework. We need to simplify it down so that we can be creative. So there's another side to it as well, where we can create abundance from limitations. So they don't necessarily need to be opposing forces in a negative sense. They can be things that actually bounce off each other, that work synergistically, that we can use for abundance. We can say, okay, these are the restrictions, these are the limitations. What can we see beyond that? What possibilities, what opportunities can we see within it? And how can we see that these limitations maybe they're artificial, they're just constructs that we've created?
Yeah, true. This is the mindset, in fact, as you said earlier. Like, I mean, I'll quote you examples. Obama became president for 2 times for US. He was not Native American English speaker. He was not born he was not born in USA, but he migrated to USA from Africa. And one day in winter, since he was a teacher for criminal psychology in USA, and while sitting in his staff room while there was a break, and he was talking to his best buddy, and he just break out with the sentence. I mean, just to make the I mean, how thinking and how my mindset can take you to the moonshot. And he talked and he said to his friend, while he was nobody and nobody knew him in his own street. I mean, he was not known to anybody, but he said one sentence. He quote and I unquote, "I have decided to become the president of USA." Look at the man. I mean, he's a simple teacher, and he has migrated to this country, and he said, "I have decided to become the president of USA." Look at the conviction. Look at the sentence structure. How strong the statement is. Where is his friend? Look, this is one sentence, one statement, and there are 2 persons, and I'm just trying to augment your argument. And he said, the other friend, he said, "No, you can't be." He said, why I can't be? He said, "Look, you are a Negro, and there has been no Negro who's become the USA president. Number 2, you are immigrant from Africa. No person from Africa ever became the president of USA. And there is you in your ancestors, there is Islam. I mean, there and right now there has gone this 9/11. The whole world is against Muslims. So there is no possibility at all that you can become the president of USA." Okay? No, this is a normal person thinking. Whereas look at Obama's thinking.
Normally with normal thinking, yes,
Okay.
it's impossible. It was impossible for him to do it. But all the time, people are doing impossible things because they say, "Why not? Why can't I?" They say, "I can do it." They believe.
I
right?
want to.
They question. They question the framework. They question the scarcity and the limitations, and say, "No, the limitation is not really there."
Okay. So what? I mean, then he explains. Look, I mean, he poses 3 threats. Like I mean, no Negro an immigrant from any country has ever become the president of USA, and you are a poor person and from Negro, and you no poor person ever became the USA president, and then you got the background in Muslims. And this what I mean looking at one perspective, it looks true and it just looks very powerful arguments. But he says, "These are not my weaknesses. These are my strengths." Here come the mindset that you are teaching to the people. Here come the mindset. And the one person looking at the same thing with a different perspective and taking it as a weakness. "I can't do, no. I mean, your amygdala is an organ within the brain, and it tracks everything negatives, and it drives you to run away from the problem. So, and amygdala always, keeps you on the run from the opportunities. I mean, not for the or to the opportunities, but it keep always. I mean, it takes you away from the opportunities, and it tells you this is danger. Okay, now what he said. Look, 9/11 has already. I mean, the now the people have come to conclusion, and they are educated enough, they are literate enough, and they are done with gold spoon babies. So there is an opportunity for the poor person to become the president of USA. 9/11 has already happened, and people have read a lot about Muslims, and the Islam was the most advanced and most fastly conversions religion in USA. The people have read a lot about this. This is not Islam, but the few people, and the few people, good and bad people, are all around the world, everywhere, in anywhere. Okay, and the last one, he said, I mean, the people have, I mean, have born a lot about these. I mean, the rich people, and they want to. And there was a movie about Roots, if you have, about the Negroes and about the people who were captives and who were bought and sold. So people now people want to pay for that also. That we've been cruel with Negroes, and we're cruel with poor people, cruel with. So now this is the right time for me to pitch in my idea of becoming the president of USA. He did the same, and he won this. I mean, this is one of the strongest example from the recent past that you can use in your book when you talk about the mindset. It's one point, one thing, and as solid as anything, but one person of fixed mindset behaves it to one way, and to the other person who's the leader, who's the growth mindset, who's the exponential moonshotter, who's the person who's got, like, I mean, is amazingly, he's looking into the future, he's futuristic, his positive mindset, and the one who wants to establish something, wants to do something. That's the mindset. That is absolutely about the mindset. So what do you?
Yeah, so just in case anybody's not familiar with the idea of moonshot, right? It's the idea of aiming for a big target, right? The moon is big. We're quite familiar with the idea of if you aim for the moon, then you land in the stars, right? If you miss, you land in the stars, right? So if you aim big, you don't know where you're going to end up. Maybe you don't end up where you're expecting to, but you end up somewhere amazing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Eventually you end up somewhere amazing.
And I also want to augment your argument. I mean, if you allow me. Okay, like a rocket. Okay, like a rocket. I mean, it's going out into from the moon to the space. Okay, like like you are sitting in the room. You go to the roof. You see, more things than you can see here. Sitting here. Then you go to the taller building. At the moon, you're going up moon. There is a point when you can see the whole Earth, and it's close. It's close. That's called the moonshot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is moonshot. Yeah. The NASA people always say, ladies and gentlemen, this is, and you're watching the moonshot. Click, there are clicks. So that's, where whole Earth you can see that. Yeah, that's a click. That click is moonshot. Yeah. You got it?
So taking a shot from the moon down, not up in the, not aiming at the moon,
that's
looking
cool.
down. Okay.
And earlier,
looking at the big picture.
The podcast name was Moonshot Podcast. But Sir Ihan, he's my mentor. He asked me, and the Peter Demendes has got the same program name, Moonshot Podcasts. So mine was a bit different, but he said, just change it to. Then I had to take it to Abundance Show. So over to you, please.
Yes, I think probably abundance is probably more accessible in some ways, right? Because moonshot, because it can have more than one meaning, people may not necessarily know what you're meaning. And so there's two ways of looking at it, right? Aiming for big goals or from looking from a big perspective. Both ways are two great ways to think about as a concept, two useful ways to think about it. And that's, when we look at abundance, that picture of looking down on the earth and seeing all of that abundance, seeing there's so much there, right? That's pretty amazing, right?
It's cool. Anything you want to ask?
Let me have a look. What are the key characteristics of the abundant mindset in your view? What are the key characteristics? What makes it up?
Okay, these are like, okay, I'll get you the formula, what I mean and what I think of.
In your own words is good.
Yeah.
In your words is good.
Okay. The characteristics for the moonshot is like, I get you. The one is, when I say the abundance mean to create the world of possibilities, that this is in fact about the solving an issue, solving a problem, any issues, or maybe all issues. Good enough if we can go for the all issues, but okay, if we talk of the one is the first characteristic is it has to be digitized. That is 0 and 1. Okay, and the second, and when digitization mean like, your everything is digitized now. Okay, everything is digitized. Digitization mean like, you can copy paste and you can propagate. Number 2, it goes through a deception phase. Like there is one growth is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is called additive mathematics. And another one is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Okay, like this, and that's exponential. And when you see from 1 to 5th step is like 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. You can't see any progress, whereas others see more. So that's phase called is deception phase. The other people can't just gauge this, just because the technologies are still on working. People are working. And the third is disruption. It disrupts the whole ecology of the existing businesses and the technologies. Like, think of when there was no Uber and there was then Uber. Look at the whole transportation around the world change. Think about the Amazon.com. Earlier than Amazon and later than Amazon, whole the world changed. Look at the shopping experience you have. And look how easy it is. Look at the target audience. The whole world. And then the next phase is demonetization. Like, you and me right now, we are connecting to each other. How much money we are spending on this? Even if we don't talk, what we save. And when we are talking to each other, what we are spending almost no additional money. You've got internet in your house. I've got internet here. You've got the laptop or any gadgets you are talking me through. So this is already there. What you're just utilizing. There is no money, at least additional money involved. There is no money or very minimal. This is called demonetization. And there could be look at the lots of apps in your cell phone. There are million for freely available. Look at Google. Look at this Facebook, and look all many other things. This is called demonetization. The next is dematerialization. Dematerialization. You see, one thing is materialized, and other is dematerialized. Materialized means you make things and you can see things in hard, and this is materialized. And when this is no more there, that is dematerialized. Look, this normal phone, it has a television inside, it has a telephone inside, it has GPS inside, it has thousands of other things which it has. But do you see a box, that TV box? Do you see that telephone? You can. Do you see this thing? It has a light in this. It has a light in this. But we do not see these things physically, whereas it has all this, and much more than all this.
Yes.
That is dematerialization. It has the features, but not materially. This is light. Okay, and this
It
is
shrinks,
this
becomes
telephone.
smaller.
It has in this, but this is dematerialized. But it is already but it is there.
Software instead of
Yeah,
hardware.
that's software. So the difference of hardware to software. Now that is democratized. Democratization. I mean, this is 6 Ds of exponential technologies and moonshotting technologies. And when I say the abundance, I mean this is a way towards what is democratization. This is a democracy is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. So everybody is part of the government. Nobody is not part of the government. So everything it has, this telephone, it's in you, if it is with you, and it is with me. It's with Steve Jobs, if it is with any of the person who's made this touch screen, or who's just a person in Ghana, or in a person in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, anywhere. So equally they are enjoying the features as equal. I mean, as in democracy, every person is equal. So I mean, to me, this is just abundant thinking, which is against scarcity thinking. And the scarcity comes from amygdala. It is in our brain. It's a small organ that attracts negativity all the time. All bad things attracts, and this makes you on the move all the time to run away from the situation, so that you can. It always tell you that this is danger, danger, danger. It makes you run away from hard. It makes you run away from all hard situations and different difficult situations. So that you need to control. You need to take control to that amygdala that is always connected to the television screen, that is telling you all bad news, wrong news all the time. The blast starts going on all the time. Negativity is going on all the time. There's all the time negative things are going on. I mean, whereas, I mean, if you really look and count the positive things, positivity is much more than the negativity. But television won't show you, just because, I mean, the business model that television can have is of that negative. If it bleeds, it leads. I mean, this is what they say. Anything that is negative, people going to watch. I mean, you will be attracted to something which is against normal, which is against that amygdala in your head, that keep your eyes glued to the screen all the time. Because, I mean, this is what the media, the social media, even or the mainstream media, that this television, the networks, they always want you to keep watching their screen, so that they have high ratings, so that they can have the more money from their advertisers. And because they can show their advertisers that, look at, I mean, our rating is higher than somebody else, as we go.
It's addictive. It's addictive.
So,
basically, it's addictive.
yeah, that's it. So, I mean, this is so one. I mean, there's one is bad news, and another one is good news. What are you interested in first?
Well, I just want to, if I can say a little bit, but we're talking about abundance in different ways here, and so I just want to, if I can just take a minute to explore this, right? We're talking about abundance mindset, which you can have abundance mindset when you have nothing, basically nothing, right? So it's a frame of mind, it's the way that you think about things. There is abundance, probably abundance in thinking, which is about how you think, what you think. And then we're talking about moonshotting and technology. And so we're talking about the enablement of abundance through technology. And also, obviously, when we're talking about that, there's also abundance of negativity that can come through, and there's abundance of positivity. And so we have more, right? We have a lot more. And so that means that we have a lot more to filter. We have more choice of what we consume. Right. So, yeah, I think it's useful just to define that we're talking about some different things that are related. And if I can just take a moment, with the things that I'm doing with innovation, I look at what can be done without technology, right? And there's an awful lot that can be done without technology, because Basically, the fact of having technology helps to enable our imagination and our creativity. And actually, technology has a lot of constraints. The way it enables to have all this abundance is through the creation of constraints and limitations, and using them to actually create more, and to by using abundance mindset, by using our creativity, we can say, well, here's the limitations here. What if we could move them to here? What if we could move them to here? And so we're using our abundance, and we're using the limitations of what we have access to and what the capabilities we have, and we're extending them. And we're saying, what if we could do this? And then we do it. And then we say, what if we could do that? And we do it. So this is where kind of things connect. I hope that's helpful to actually think about how these different things relate to each other.
That's cool. I mean, more we talk, then more understanding we develop. This is all about this podcasting is point of engagement. That, I mean, you've got everything around you. I mean, today I was talking to a lady in US. I mean, I was podcasting her. She said one thing. It was amazing that things you may already know, but I mean, if somebody takes you to that and then asks you to come to see things from this angle, then at time is amazing, and then you get moved, and that makes your life change. And she said, I mean, look, money is all around you. It's like, I mean, you have to resonate to that level. You have to upskill yourself or upscale yourself to that level, and then you get them. Like your watch is maybe upstairs in your bedroom, and you're searching it in your drawing room downstairs, or maybe in kitchen or elsewhere. So you've got to go there in your bedroom so that you can get that. So that's how it is. The mindset. Everything is abundant already. The sun is getting us 8,000 times more than we need for the whole globe energy. So what we are doing, we are not capitalizing. All the governments should go for solar energy, for wind energy, for renewable energies. If you can make energy, that electricity at least for free to your people, look, they'll be every cost will be reduced. You can catch inflation from the neck. You can just look. I mean, you can't let it move. This is just about the now. You and me need to teach this to the people. I was asking about two things. There is bad news. There is good news. Bad news is that, in fact, I mean, before I go for bad and good news, in fact, everything is controlled by our mindset. Everything we do, it is, I mean, if our mind is convinced, bad or good, I mean, aside, I mean, I'm not talking about the bad and good. I'm not talking about wrong and right. No. But everything, be it anything, we do just because our mind is convinced that we do. Now, the bad news is nobody thinks about this point. At general, this is bad news. People do not think for a while that the hell in my life is going all around me. Why is it about? What is it about? And this is almost about my thinking, taking me into this deep hot waters. This we don't think. This is bad news. But the good news is, if we take time and think, so we can take control of our brain. And what your book is about is taking charge of your brain and your mindset, thinking. So what you are looking for, the all possibilities to put in a beautiful manner to the people, to write a powerful book so that people can take charge of their own life and they can solve their problems. Just because, I mean, it's about finding a watch that's in your bedroom and you're watching else. I mean, you're looking for it elsewhere. So that's about the point. I mean, taking to this to the same frequency where it matches, and that disconnects, and there's light. So that's what I mean. To me, this is what you are doing, and this is what mentor do. In ancient time, this is what gurus used to do. This is, I mean, people, teachers used to do this thing, and I don't know what's gone wrong with our generation now. Over to you, Pius.
Yes, so I think your time is probably nearly up. Because you have other things you need to do, right? What I think is that we want to leave people with something that they can do every time, right? From every session, every episode. So I mentioned before about asking a question, right? If you ask a question every day, right, then that opens up your thinking. So you make it, I mean, you ask questions all the time anyway, but this is about intentionally asking a question, and asking a question that a student can answer. It's a question that you can build connection over curiosity. You can help a student to open up their mind and to think about connecting, and think about possibility, and think about abundance. So asking a question every day, make a habit of it, at least 5 days a week, right? You can have a break on the weekend. You can join our challenge. You can send the questions to me, and I can provide them to students. And also, the other thing is being able to answer questions. So a part of the challenge that I'm going to be doing, then we're going to get the students and native speakers and people from Rehan School that want to join in to both ask and answer questions, so that they can practice communicating with native speakers and with each other, so they can practice these skills of asking good questions, and so we can improve over time, and answering questions, and the process of that develop our thinking and our mindset, and help to open things up. When we converse with other people, when we connect with other people, that is good for us. So it's about not just doing it, being intentional about it.
That is an amazing idea. I mean, more interactive sessions we have, more we learn, and more people can get benefit out of it. That's amazing.
So that is a very introductory thing that you can do. The other thing that I'd like to add to that is just think about it with something that you're doing. Even if it's not this example, just practicing taking care in the things you do. So one thing that people often do when they have poor thinking is they throw rubbish on the ground. They throw trash on the ground. Okay, I think the Americans say trash, we say rubbish. Okay, so instead of doing that, or even if you find some rubbish or trash on the ground, put it in the rubbish bin or the trash can, right? Make a practice of taking a little bit of extra care. And when you practice that, whatever you do, you will that will become your habit and part of your mindset. I am somebody who cares. I am somebody who goes the extra mile, that cares about other people's health, their well-being, cares about the environment, wants things to be beautiful. This is the kind of person I am. And so whatever I'm doing, that's who I am. I'm a person that takes a little bit of extra care. And if you want to think about what impact that has, okay, in business, right? They say trust is the currency of business, right? So if you can connect with foreigners and you can do a good job, you take the care, you understand how foreigners, how native speakers, English native speakers, they think and what's important to them, and you can connect with them and you can do just as good a job. There's no real reason why you cannot earn like a native speaker. Okay, I have to qualify that there is bias, right? They assume, okay, you're from Pakistan, or you're a Muslim, or you're whoever, right? Your color of the skin, or even the fact that if you're a woman, right? People have bias, right? But once you get past that bias, once people develop the trust, right? There's no real reason. I say no real reason, because I see this bias as best being an unnecessary fake barrier, right? It's a fake barrier. It's an obstacle, but if we can get through it, then we can succeed. Even if you don't get paid as much as a native speaker, because of being distanced, because of the bias, at least get paid a lot closer to it. If you move to New Zealand or, for example, then you could be earning the same amount as a New Zealander, another New Zealander, right? If people can see the value of what you're doing, if you can connect with them. The barrier is this connection issue, this trust, because it's bias, perception of just through identity, right? Because we're talking about identity, right, a lot. So people try to filter through a sense of identity, so they put people in boxes. And this is scarcity thinking, right? This is limited thinking, because it's not the truth. It's just people trying to make things easier for themselves, right? But once we get past that limitation, there's no reason. There's no reason why it needs to be different. If you're producing the same thing, the same quality, why does it need to be any different in terms of how much people get paid?
Very true.
So I really want to inspire people to start small. The big thing, okay, in the future, maybe, you think about at the moment, maybe you can earn $1 per hour. Maybe in the future you earn $10 an hour. Maybe 20, 30, 100, 200. You don't know the limit, right? There is no real limit to how much you can earn. Some people earn $1,000 per hour, right? Or more. There's no real limit, okay? But we create these limits in terms of how we approach things and how we do things. So that's huge. That's too big for us to comprehend. But what we can do is step by step, okay? We work step by step. And what that means is that we can provide better, people can provide better for their family, right? They can provide for their family, and they can help other people. So it's not about having luxury, as you say. It's about being able to help other people, to be able to make a difference, being able to share idea with your friend, to be able to help other people, be able to share abundance, to invest in improvement, making people's experience better, right? So that's my passion, is being able to share mindset, the good thinking, and being able to share it and spread it. So when we teach, we're sharing with other people these good ideas. When we ask questions or answer questions, when we pick up rubbish off the ground, we're doing things for ourselves, but we're also doing things to help other people. So these things are things that grow, that expand, and we don't know where it will go, right? Because often the result of what our actions are not immediate, okay? And so this is one of the things I'm actually working on, is we do not see the true progress, right? We don't see the true impact of the actions we're taking often too much later. And so sometimes that makes it hard for us to be motivated. We don't see, hey, if I have this habit, what will that mean in the future? And as you say, exponential, right? Exponential as a concept is amazing, right? And you look at an exponential curve and it looks like nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And then suddenly it takes off, right? And it just takes off. And it's like, wow. But before that, it looked like nothing was happening. But just because it looks like nothing happened doesn't mean. Maybe it means that things were very challenging, right? Very challenging. And so growth was really fast. But it looks like nothing is happening. I guess there's another part of abundance, right?
That's
awareness
phase.
Of this.
That is deceptive phase, when it looks nothing is happening. That is deceptive phase for general public. And the base is, you've got a bottle. In order to fill this, you need to open this. If we don't open this, and somebody keep pouring the whole tank in this, the whole sea of water, if it is not open, then nothing happens. So this is mindset. We need to open this, and then we need to put it like this, not like opening this and putting like this. There's no one enter a drop of it. It's the opportunities and the knowledge, it's happening everywhere all the time. It is abundant already, but it's we we need to catch that, we need to grab that, we need to understand that, and we need to, if the opportunity is this level, and I need to to take, I mean, we have to come to this level. So this is my understanding. Yeah, how about, I mean, I have to go to the class. I mean, I'm already late for 22 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
And
Oh, it's
you are the
fantastic. Yes,
host.
it's very
You are the
fantastic.
host. I'm the guest.
Yes, all right, that's my bad. I said I was going to finish it up, and then I keep going. Yes, no, so we've left you with potentially 3 things to do, right? 3 things to do. Yes, so send the question, send the answer to me, or ask me about it, about the challenge. That's fine. Okay, that's good. Okay, and we will we thank you for watching, and we appreciate the time that you've taken to help yourself with your mindset and live up your mindset. And we look forward to continuing this discussion on Monday.
And thank you so much. And I again, I'll ask for the apologies publicly, just because, I mean, you had to wait for me. I mean, I'm sorry. And thank you so much. And
Okay.
let's call it a day.
Thank you.